All right. Welcome back to another episode of Mr. King KMK, also of Knicks Morning Coffee. All right. Today we're going to discuss last night's game against the Indiana Pacers. There were some things in that loss that we have to go over. Early in the season, nobody's going to jump off the bandwagon, but it was some disturbing things that happened during that game. Now, one, we let Tyrese Halliburton, who had been in this early season slump, somehow come out of it against us. The last time we played them, he had 0 points. Now, we wasn't expecting another duplicate game like that, but we was at least still hoping to contain him. But even if you don't contain him, it was some of the other guys also that beat us last night. Now, this other kid, Mathurin, can't say I know a whole lot about him. He started for them. Now, he's an unsung guy for them last night that just lit us up. And we didn't seem to have an answer for him. And one thing about the NBA, sometimes it's not the stars you got to worry about. It's the guys that come in and do things that they don't normally do. And last night, he showed why you need extra people on your team. They don't have to be known type of guys. But this kid lit us up for 30 plus. Kudos to him. However he broke out of what he was doing, it really sealed the win for them in my estimation. But I look at how we overall guarded them. It's something about, we know Tibbs like to keep his guys' feet in the paint, but we wasn't getting out to those threes. And even when we wasn't contesting them in the way that you're supposed to close out on a three-point shooter. And then they was just lighting threes up, all over the place. But on our end, I look at OG Anunoby, who had a very good game last night. And you always know when you go back to a hometown where he played college ball that you want to put on a show for your fans, because he's an alumni of Indiana. So he went back there and he did his thing. Towns played a good game. Not the Superman game that he had the other night, but it was enough to help us win. Individually, a lot of guys did some very nice things. But as a team, I don't think we put together 4 quarters in a way that a aspirational championship team would do. Like, we out there balling, but we have to play the chess game in these matches. Especially when the guys that are the teams that are supposed to be under you. Not to say you're going to beat them all every night, but you got to put them away in a way where they understand that they might be up and coming, but you're already there. And we didn't do that last night. We kind of played, if you got it, you go ahead and take it type of a game. The ball was moving great, but sometimes we got to pick a stand and we got to say, okay, we riding this guy for a few minutes. Not that he has to shoot it, but that's the guy that has to make a play, because we had some guys that had some things going, but we wasn't like finding an open hand the way they were doing. When Turner was hot, they would go to him 3 or 4 times in a row. When Mathurin was hot, he knew he was getting the ball. When Halliburton was hot, like, they was doing things like that. And McConnell, he didn't do what he did to us in the playoffs, but he did come in and give them a spark that they needed. Now, on our end, Deuce came in. Deuce, he played okay. Not a typical Deuce game. I thought he would probably guard a little bit better at the front, but, they had a plan and they stuck to it, and it prevailed for them. But I just think that, Tibbs moves, just playing 7 men. He did play Kolek like 2 minutes, but that was like in the first half. But 7 men, maybe at the end of the game, maybe that cost us a little bit of fatigue, that we just couldn't really get over the hump. The game was there, it was winnable. So we know that we're capable of winning ball games, but we have to put teams away. And there's no need for Tibbs early in the season to do that, to run those guys down like that. Now, I did say that last week, the guys, because we're trying to build a cohesive unit, the starters should play a lot of minutes, but not to the detriment of you not using at least 8.5 to 9, 7, and maybe 1 for 2 or 3 minutes. That's not going to cut it, Definitely not this early in the season. And we have to see what some of those other guys are made of. But that could have been a factor down the stretch of us, because when you're tired, you can't make the right decision. And we know you can't shoot the right way when you're tired. But we also have to do that, and we also have to find a way to, let's pick on our offense. Let's pick on something that's going to work and build our identity. And we're not saying the Knicks are not doing that because we're not in practice with them, but it just looks to me that at times when we had them by the horns, we didn't take it. Like last year, towards the end of the season, it would have been a done deal. That win would have been sealed within 5 minutes. even if the game was back and forth, because we had a plan. And I think right now, trying to fit in Towns and Brunson together, McCall, he's going to be okay. But, trying to fit those things in, we have to decide who we riding with in those closing minutes. And it could be a different one every game, but all 5 guys got to be in sync with what we're doing. Because there's no way to give up those type of games to teams that are under you. It really not. And then you putting the battery in the back of some guys who just not going to be there. Now, Indiana has a nice team. Nobody's taking that away from them. They did knock us out of the playoffs last year, but they're not a team that should be beating us, And so it's just maybe for them it's payback time from what we did to them the second game of the season, but unnecessary. But I know that we're going to figure it out. I know that we're going to start depending on Brunson a little bit more. Now, he's not having his best year, not having a bad year, but not having a typical Brunson season that we thought he would start off with. But that's also to be expected. But I'm just looking for the Knicks in the next couple of games to find the true value of how we're going to close out. And it's got to be a collective effort from all the guys. Again, we can ride one guy for 5 minutes. That does not mean the guy has to shoot the ball. But we can also take advantage of what that particular guy is doing at that moment in time. And we have to do that. But no need to panic. I wanted that win. Never want to lose to Indiana. Just something about them. You don't want Indiana and Miami beating you. But, the Knicks, they played a good game. We know we have a good team. I personally think we need another big out there. I think we should have 2 bigs because we're kind of getting pushed around under the boards. And we just use that body out there. And we're securing rebounds, but, Tibbs won't go that route right now. But I think we do. I think we need another big. Even if it's Sims, Sims is not playing great defensively, but he is attacking the boards. And if you have Sims and Cat or Precious and Cat or however you're going to play that, we need it. Small ball is good for parts of the game. It's not good for the whole game. And OG can guard bigs for parts of the game, not for the whole game. But, moving forward, I just think that the Knicks have to hone into what we're trying to do, find that niche, and ride it out. Because everybody else seems to think on the outside that we have a good team. But we have to believe that we can go in and game out and pick up those victories. All right, so, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about last night's game. And then let me know how you think we should, follow the end of games. Is it Brunson? Is it Towns? Is it a combination? Like, what should we be doing to close these wins out? Because we have the talent and we have the ability. All right, until next time, peace.